And the Chinese consulate in Rio de Janeiro will continue to support two countries' universities' friendly exchanges between each other. At the same time, we are also going to cooperate with each other. At last, I wish this event a complete success. Thank you.
Muito obrigado. Now I pass the
Thank you all very much.
floor to Professor Tao Shen, who actually invented the conception of poverty alleviation competition. So she is the one.
Thank you, Anna. Actually, it's an effort for everyone, and including my dear partner, Anna Costa. Okay. Ms. Tian Min, the Consul General of the Chinese Consulate in Rio de Janeiro. Mr. Jing Yanhui, Commercial Counselor at the Chinese Consulate in Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. And Professor Anna Costa, Director of Advanced Studies, Federal University, Rio de Janeiro. And Mr. Lucas, the representative from Aviation Group, and Mr. Oscar Galgro, representative from Metro MMG Las Bambas, and Ms. Jennifer Han, representative from CNOOC, and faculty members from Tsinghua University and faculty members from Federal University Rio de Janeiro. All the students and young friends from China, Brazil, Peru, Chile, online and offline, and all my friends here who care about the course of the poverty alleviation online and offline. I'm Professor Tao Chen, Director of Latin American Center of Tsinghua University and Professor of International Business. Good morning and welcome to the seminar. And this seminar attaches to our program, China Latin American Youth Responding to Global Challenge, 2025 Poverty Alleviation Challenge, which is co-organized by Federal University Rio de Janeiro, Pontifical the Catholic University Chile, and Metro MMG Las Bambas. The program was created last year and it was included in the list of the achievement project of President Xi Jinping's state visit to Brazil. And we're honored to have the Chinese embassy in Brazil and the Chinese, and Chinese consulate in Rio de Janeiro, and the Brazil embassy in China, as well as the Chilean embassy in China and Chinese embassy in Chile, and the Chinese embassy in Peru. We're honored to have them as the supporting the institutions. One of the main goals of the program is to shrink the gap of experience sharing among China and Latin American and Caribbean countries, and to put the strength of our youth into the cause of poverty alleviation. During the preliminary competition of this program, we created a tool called 5W1H to assist the effort of mutual learning. And our students and young friends from all these countries formed international teams, targeted different real poverty phenomena, trying to learn the best practice from all the participating countries. Now the students of our winning team, they are here trying to learn from you, the experts from different institutions. You have been working directly towards the poverty alleviation, and our students are here to learn from you. Meanwhile, we realize that poverty alleviation is a complex issue. All kinds of institutions get involved in this course. We believe that the different institutions also need a platform to share ideas to each other so that we can collaborate more, even collaborate cross-border. This is also the purpose of holding this seminar today. And one more thing I want to mention here is that within this program, this year, more student team trying to use AI methodology to develop the solution towards the poverty alleviation. So this time, within this seminar, we also touch the AI solution and AI innovation a little bit. Yeah, you can expect that, expecting that. Yeah. Last but not least, I do want to express my sincere thanks to the sponsors of this wonderful program. We cannot make it without you. They are Innovation Group, world leading green technology multinational company from China, who has already come to Brazil. This year, when President Lula visited China during the time of China CELAC meeting, they announced to build the first Latin American net zero carbon industry park in Brazil. Pay attention to it. Another distinguished sponsor is Metal MMG Las Bambas, a leading company in the global mining industry, which is not only a competent company in their business, but also has generated significant economic and social impact in local community. I'm here thanks them for their generous the contribution. Okay, wish the seminar be held smoothly. Thank you very much.
Talking about artificial intelligence, then I invite Lucas Donasolo to make his statement.
Well, good morning, distinguished guests, partners, and friends. It's an honor to be here today representing Vision Group at this Poverty Alleviation Challenge. I would like to thank you, the organizers, for bringing us together to share ideas, inspire action, and work together towards a future where prosperity is shared by all. Vision Group is a world-leading green technology company providing renewable energy solutions and global enterprise, governments, and institutions. Our mission is very clear and is very urgent: to solving challenges for humanity's sustainable future. We continually do that, reducing the production, storage, and synergy costs for renewable energy through innovative and comprehensive solutions. Nowadays, Envision operates in all 5 continents, with over 20 global R&D and innovation centers, and also more than 60 entities worldwide. In Latin America, we have been investing for many years as well. Our wind farms in Mexico, Argentina, and Chile are already powering communities with clean energy. In Brazil, we are proud to be partnering with leading companies on groundbreaking initiatives, from green ammonia projects that supports the national COP30 commitments to the creation of the Brazilian's first net zero industrial park. These projects are more than just infrastructure. They are long-term commitments to green growth, local job creations, and technological innovation. We are also exploring investments in wind turbine manufacturing and also sustainable aviation fuel with a project here in Rio de Janeiro. But beyond business, Envision believes that technology should serve humanity. As one of the strategic sponsors of this event, Envision has integrated technology, talent, and application scenarios into a unified driven force for poverty alleviation. Today's Poverty Alleviation Challenge reminds us that addressing poverty is inseparable from addressing climate change. A sustainable economy must be inclusive, ensuring that no community is left behind as we move towards a net zero future. On behalf of Envision, I wish to this event great success. May your shared vision and collaborative actions bring light energy and hope to communities across Latin America and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I invite all of you for a photo, and then we start the seminar. This is said here, the photo. Maybe we can do it later on? You don't know. Yeah.
Where's the team? You are doing the photo right now, or
Or maybe later, and we shall continue.
you have the things on the list? Now we have the group photo. Is that right or not?
Yeah, we can have the group photo now because
So we're all sitting there, and then okay, everyone is sitting there.
Yes.
And then we go back. 冯健, we go back, and then we have the group photo. Is that right?
yeah,
We go back to the seat. Okay, yeah, please.
Me too? You go back there? Okay, so they have the whole, yeah.
okay, here please. 3, 2, 1. Start the run. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Now let's start. I want to invite Jamie Coates from Fundação João Cabral. Please have a seat. I need to change this. Please. Liam Jian, Tsinghua University. Shen Jiaoko Wo. You have to teach me how to pronounce your names because it's very difficult. Tsinghua University. Edson Ricardo, I don't know if he still arrives. Edson Ricardo from Petrobras. And Feng Jiang from Tsinghua University. This is what I do have here. Am I wrong? No, because Jamie Coates is with...
I'm also connected to Oxford.
Oxford, yes.
Now or later?
Yeah, because Fabio Wattenberg is not coming. Fabio Wattenberg is not coming. He could not come.
I was going to be later, but
In the round table. Vitor Libânio. Please. Sorry. I think so, because Fabio Wattenberg is not here. Okay?
And you want this one, right?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Chen Jian,
Why don't you sit with me?
no, right. Professor Chen Jianguo.
Yes. Feng Jiang. Fang Jiang. Yes? Yes,
第
sure.
二个是刘健老师，第二个是刘健老师。哦，那你就由你跟你不要去记，
You need to stay with me, please. You need to stay with me so you can help me.
或者让那个刘健
封建 is here. 封建 is one of the three.
Yes.
Yeah, 封建 is here.
还上刘健老师，是吗？刘健老师，
Maybe we
我
should.
已经跟刘健老师说了，
刘健老师在这儿。刘健 right.
Yes.
刘健
Professor Liu Qian, please. Hi.
Everyone on the first keynote speaker will come here, right?
Right.
Okay. Professors from Professor Liu Jianguo, Chen Jianguo, sorry, Professor Liu Jian. Okay. Okay, so everyone's here. Okay.
Yes, why not? It would be much more fun if we're all together. You need more seats? You are over there?
谁给的控制？PPT 讲到了，谁给的控制这个？这个做的是，直接按就可以了嘛。
So, let's have fun and discuss what is really important, okay? And then I pass the floor for Professor James Coates, who is also from Oxford University.
Thank you. So let me just make this very simple. As you know, I'm originally from England and we like to be polite. But if I wanted to be rude, maybe like an ugly American, this is what I would do. It's only about money. I don't really care who you are, where you live, how much money do you earn, and how much are you worth. The problem in the world, if we just count by money, this is one of the biggest mistakes that's happening in the world. And I would say at this time in history, we are witnessing one of the biggest mistakes in the world is a country only measuring money. But we are also witnessing, and it's a deep honor to be here with people from China, one of the greatest successes in the world. Because China has measured multidimensionally and has achieved one of the greatest feats in history. So let me just give you some comparisons across the world. So Oxford University helped develop the multidimensional poverty metrics. And between 2000 and 2016, 127 developing countries took multidimensional poverty from 36% down to 16%, largely driven by China. But let me give you 4 different sets of statistics. Between 2000 and 2020 in Latin America, if you exclude Brazil, poverty was going down at about multidimensionally, about 5% a year from 2000 to 2014 when the commodity boom ended, and then it went flat. And then we saw near revolution in Chile, we saw violence in Ecuador, in Panama. If multidimensional poverty goes flat, your society begins to unfold. But let me tell you an amazing story about Brazil. From 2000 to 2020, Brazil kept on going. About 5.6% a year reduction in multidimensional poverty, even after the commodity boom ended. God bless Brazil. This was amazing. But let's go even more powerful. Let's look at China. So between 2000 and 2020, China averaged a multidimensional poverty reduction of over 12%. So if you are young people in this room and you have ambitions, beat China. Reduce poverty faster than 12.6% a year it was. So this is an incredible historical accomplishment. Now, I'm working with the company Vale here. Vitor is from that, and they are using the multidimensional approach, and they are working actually with a favela here. They have a project called Juntos Against Poverty, and we did some analysis. In 1 year, they reduced multidimensional poverty for Venezuelan refugees by 30%. So they're beating China with their initiative. I think that's incredible. China has set the bar. Let's all exceed that. And I just want to say that China's been really amazing in being really clear about measuring poverty in a multidimensional way. And Chairman Xi Jinping in 2013 said, let's be precise about poverty. Let's be precise and let's end it. And we heard about the need for net zero carbon. Let's do net zero. Let's do poverty zero. And thank you very much for all you're doing. And I salute your ambitions. I salute your success to date. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. Please, should have Liu Xian. Jian.
Professor Liu Jian, please. Yeah.
Thank you much, Ran. And Distinguished Chancellor and dear colleagues, it's my great pleasure to be here second time. Yeah, so, and also I'm glad to talk with young students coming from China and also from Latin America. Last year, when I talk about the poverty alleviation issue, I give a talk from the perspective of urban-rural integration, because in China, we had the problem of a dual urban-rural system, which makes the rural areas comparatively poor. But actually, as Professor James just mentioned, that China has made a great achievement in poverty alleviation, because by the end of 2020, we actually alleviated all absolute poverty. That's a great achievement, but that's really make Chinese people, every Chinese people has a kind of dignity in their life. But at the same time, we still have the problem of comparative poverty. You know, they are always rich and poor. So today, I'm going to talk from another perspective, because when we work on the poverty issue, of course, we need the policies from the government. We need the participation of the enterprises. At the same time, we need the participation of the communities, of everybody. So I take this topic, elevating poverty with communities, planning and building inclusive communities, because I'm a planner and architect. So my field is concerns the physical environment. So that's why I choose this topic and would like to talk with you. Let me see. Okay, now. So why community? Because communities play an important role in our society. So first of all, it's a social unit of affiliations with all of communities, because everybody, you know, you can find people of the same religion, same race, same values. You know, we are always a group of people that tied by something in common. At the same time, community is a spatial unit in both physical and virtual terms. If you look at the diagram I show you, you see all the blocks. Each block is a small community, because there are people living in one housing project, especially in China. I don't know exact case here, but I see here, seems that the housing project is more, closed compared to the Chinese case. And also nowadays, for the young generation, you have your community online, right? You have all your communities online of different groups. And last but not least, the community is a level of governance between the mass and the governmental system. The diagram at your right hand shows the hierarchical system of administration in China. I marked in the red block means those organizations, either the self-organizations or the low-level government, they are regarded as a community in Chinese context. And then because of this significance, community development is also, a big concern of the whole society all over the world. According to UN's SDGs, they even classify the cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable as one of the 17th development goals. Of course, this is a big ambition, but at the same time, you have seen on the top right, the big challenge. There are still a big number of people living in informal settlements. The photos I showed you here is my experience this year in São Paulo and also in Santos. The right one is very well known all over the world because it was posted by the Guardians. It's a pavilion and a rich residential putting together in the neighborhood in São Paulo. And the right one, I don't know whether you can see, this is in Santos. My first visit in Santos. At the left hand, you see a very prosperous new city. And then just at your right hand, you see the favela on the top of the small hill. You see, you are always see the coexistence of rich and poor in a physical environment. So that's why it's important that we should try to make communities inclusive. Inclusive means that we can give people equal communities that regardless their background, they can always achieve their full potential in life with both rights and responsibility. In order to do that, we need policies and actions that promote equal access to public services and enable residents' participation in the decision-making process that affected their life. As I showed, the diagram is a project that I have been participated with European colleagues on the towards socially integrative cities. And we work from the planning perspective that concerns the land policy, the planning policy, and also the management issues. And of course, in order to make a community inclusive, the first step is to try to provide everybody an apartment of dignity, so that social housing is a very important topic. So in many countries, from the developed countries like in Paris, France, and also developing countries like China, in Beijing, the government made a very great efforts to build up social housing. That's good, because that really provide housing for low-income families, but there are also the problems. When you look at the location of the social housing, you may find that most of them are located far away from the central city. Central city is the place where you have more better public services and also job opportunities. But when those people of low income, they live far away, actually, they are a little bit deprived from this public service. So how we make a mixed housing community rather than housing segregation is a big task and challenge for us. Oops. Go there. Let me try. Okay, now, and then when they have a housing, of course they need services for their daily life, and how we can provide them with public services at proximity. So in China, even since the 1990s, we issued a national code to guide the planning and design of residential housing, which required any developers, no matter private one or public one, when they build a housing project, they need to provide basic living services so that you don't need to go far away for your daily life. That includes the education facilities, medical care. Nowadays, we pay more and more attention to aging care because China is already in an aging society. So because of time, I will not go into details. Let's continue. And also, we need to think about how we can show our care to vulnerable groups, just as Anne mentioned in his opening remarks. You know, there are quite a number of vulnerable groups in the society, and then how we can show our concerns on that. So nowadays in China, we actually pay more attention, first of all, to children, because China is starting to see the decrease of population. Young generation, they don't want to have kids. So in order to help them and also to provide the children with a better living environment, from the central government Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development, they issue the guidelines for building children-friendly cities all over the China. So nowadays, in the middle of the photo, you may see we care about very much how children view the city. So we see it's a city at 1 meter height, so that it's the level of children to view the society. At the same time, there are also a lot of ridiculous phenomena in our city. I just take a photo very randomly. This is in a capital city of province in China. They designed a path for disabled But if you look at that, I'm sorry, it's not very clear, they put some barriers in the middle of the path. So it's very ridiculous. It seems that we care about the disabled, but there are always something that's difficult for them, and then how we can deal with that. Last but not least, we need to promote public engagement in communities. This is a place where people would have the sense of belonging. So it's easy for them to be involved in any decision making concerning their life. So we promote the principle of co-building public space, co-sharing, especially collective memory, and co-governing the transformation of the community. So those are the cases taking place in China. For example, this is the case in Beijing where there are a lot of immigrants from the countryside who move to the city to be urbanized, and then how to make them know each other because they come from different parts of the country, how to make them to know each other and to set up the sense of belonging of their community. So they organize activities like the wall painting, sometimes the gardening in the community, so that by this way people can know each other. For collective memory, it's the same when you have immigrants. They don't know the history of the community. So in many neighborhoods in China, they built up the community library where they collect stuffs and literatures and to let the residents know the history of that community. And also nowadays in China, we have more and more urban renovation projects rather than the new construction. For example, to add elevators to the old buildings. But there are always people, some people agree, some people disagree. On the ground floor, normally they don't agree. Then how you can make them involved in the decision-making process and make everybody can accept this project is a big challenge. And of course, we need to build inclusive communities with a lot of innovations because our society is always changing. Yeah, changing is eternal, it's endless. We need to always face these changes. So being planner and designer, of course, we need to create planning and design schemes with design thinking with a lot of creative ideas. But at the same time, it's always important to encourage the participation of multiple stakeholders from government of different levels, from the communities, residents, and of course from the enterprises. It's just like the case we do today at this moment. And of course, we rely on the application of advanced technologies. I don't mention any AI or whatever, but nowadays it's very popular. And we can rely on that even to support public participation. Nowadays, we use WeChat in China whenever we make a plan project, either in the community, even in the city. We set up a questionnaire online, and then people are very active to make their contribution. So that's a way we use this kind of technology to support the building of inclusive communities. Last but not least, of course, we need the innovations from a policy and management perspective. On the bottom is an example in Beijing. Nowadays, they encourage the professionals and even the academics from universities to participate in community issues. So myself and also Professor Shao, who is my colleague from Tsinghua University, we all participated to a community building in the Haidian district of Beijing. So by this way, we can actually concentrate the efforts from the society. But it's very interesting on this trip, when I visited São Paulo, I was informed and also I observed some interesting programs. The top right is the, you call Sexy Pompier in São Paulo, where I saw a lot of aging people together with young kids and their families. I was very curious why there are so many people. And they told me because government gave a special program of food. So you eat there is very cheap. So people go there for food, at the same time they enjoy the cultural activities there. I think that's very effective way to mobilize people of a different age in cultural society only use food as a kind of attraction. Another one is the logo of a movement. I don't know the exact name of the movement, but they told me that the aim of that movement is to help people, landless people. And so that means government buy a piece of land, and then the, commissioned and private and public developer to build housing and to accommodate those kind of landless people. I see, wow, that's great. That's something that adaptable to Brazilian situation. So that means that in each country, in each community, actually we should have our own way of management and also governance. I think that's all from my presentation. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
We really want to know more about all these programs and to engage, because they are really great. Thank you very much. Now I pass the word to Vitor Libono from Vale, which is a very important enterprise in Brazil.
Thank you. It's a great honor to me to represent Vale, and also André Rabetin, which it's not possible to be here because she's today in São Luís to launch the project with a community kitchen in São Luís, which is part of our program there. So, thank you again. And thank you, Jamie, because he started to promote something that we are doing together with Oxford University. To be true, for Vale, since 2021, we start a program to contribute to lift up 500,000 people out of extreme poverty, especially those near for operations, which is an issue for us because we're very concerned about this practice and this situation. And this initiative is coordinated by Vale, which brings together companies, third sector organizations, academies, and governments with the purpose of acting collectively to combat extreme poverty in Brazil. It's important to put in place that we are not privatizing the problem. We also strengthen the public policies in Brazil to deal with this issue. And so we put in place the program that we call Together Against Poverty. And we base in some premises. The first of all is the poverty is a multidimensional phenomenon, which we study a lot with the Oxford approach on that. We have differentiation strategies in the urban, rural, and remote areas. We have also projects in the forest, Amazon forest. We're reducing the immediate pressure of poverty and guaranteeing basic rights are key in the search of autonomy and staying out of poverty for those families. It's the importance of providing and strengthening the public policy, which is also addressed. And we're building a big network of NGOs, other companies, co-investors, and also, I believe that's how we'll be here, start to build up a bridge with the academia, because it's important to us. This strategy is always considered the vision of people living in these conditions, so I believe that none of us here is in this situation the best of our lives. And we are doing a lot of external engagement and accreditation, which is important to us to be in partnership with the Oxford University, because I believe that it's, they are the audit for us to check off all the progress and all the information that the data that we produce. Our project is based on the Alcaire-Foster methodology, and we are using 5 dimensions: the income, the health, the education, the infrastructure, and the nutrition. And we are doing that with follow-up for each family in practice. So we have this in one by one with each family. So you use the income generation to first approach to define which family we will be together. And after that, we put in place an action plan, and we check all of this deprivation and deal with all of them for all of these dimensions. So basically it's that. We have now 10% of the goal in 22 projects that we deploy, especially in Pará state, which is probably the most vulnerable states in Brazil, and those states where the operation of our operations is especially more important operations for Vale in Brazil. So that's it. I have to say thank you, and said that Vale is open to more relationship and partnership with all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have Vale here and be one of our sponsors. No? Now I pass the floor to Shen Zhengwu. You have to help me.
Professor Chen Jiangu. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. The problem is to pronounce your name. I'm really sorry.
Okay, so good morning. It's very glad to meet everybody here. I'm from the School of Safety Science in Tsinghua University. In China, the public safety is just a general conception. It includes 4 domains. The first one is natural disaster. The second area is accidental disaster. The third one is a public health problem like the COVID and something. And the last area is social security. So these 4 domains are which our public safety researchers, what we are focused. My topic is about disaster reduction, poverty alleviation, because everybody knows that disaster will lead to poverty. I have collected some yes, so I have collected some data. The first data is the global disaster situation. So everybody can see from the figure that during the last 30 years, so we can see there are so many major disasters happened worldwide. For average, 它这个怎么会跳出来? Yeah, okay. So for average, it's nearly 300 major disasters every year on average in the last 30 years. The trend is it's rising from the 1989 to the century, and it's slowly decrease, but it's fluctuation. So we can also see that these natural disasters, the main disaster type is the flood and the storm. So it's exchanges during the climate change. So everybody knows the climate change, it do really influence our life and cause poverty. And some other disasters like the earthquakes, the drought, the geological disasters, and the forest fires, and so on. So they all cause many lives loss. And here is some of the figures. We can see that the the disasters cause our life lost. So we can also see that during after the 2000 to 2010, there are some major disasters, and it caused lots of people dead. And also we can see this death main caused by earthquakes, and some others caused by storm disaster. For example, in 2008, in China, we have a very catastrophic disaster, the Wenchuan earthquake. It caused nearly 87,000 people died or lost. And the Fukushima earthquake, it caused nuclear leakage and also lots of people dead. So these are the disasters. And here is economic loss. So we can also see that the direct economic losses from every year, it's nearly more than 1,000 billion US dollars worldwide. And it also, the loss majorly coming from the storm disasters, the earthquake, the flood, and so on. In China, so here is some figures that we can see the economic loss, the casualty, it rise, and currently it's descending fastly. Obviously, because due to our technology improving and our capability of management improving. So here is some other figures. So here is the figures of annual average number of deaths from the natural disasters per million populations in China. So we have okay, so everybody can see, right? So here we can, okay, it's better. So here we have some figures that around 30 years ago, so you can see in China, per a million population, the annual death is 2.46. But it decreased, and currently it's 1.04 persons per million populations. So it changes a lot. But here we can see during the middle stage, because of the Wenchuan earthquake happens, so the death toll rise. But if we exclude this data, then we can see the death of the population rate, currently it's 1.04. So the US, their figure is 0.96. The UK, it's 1.14 persons per million population. So that means China currently, due to our technology improving and our management, it changes a lot. So how do we do the disaster reduction and the poverty in alleviation? During the last 10 years, the government spent 40 billion Chinese yuan to do the survey of the natural disaster risks. So the whole nation, every rural area, every city, every place, we find the disaster risks in each district, each point. So we also overlay this hazard spots to the poverty point. So that means the government knows, okay, we need to do more work on these poverty areas to prevent them from slipping back into poverty, okay? So this is a work during the last within the last 10 years. And here is, we improve the disaster monitoring and early warning technology. So in China, we have different kinds of early warning systems. The early warning system for the meteorological disaster, the flood disaster, the earthquake disaster, the landslide, mudslide disaster, and so on. So this monitoring and early warning notification will send to families who have been lifted out of poverty. So this system also developed by our Tsinghua University that helps the government and the public citizens a lot. Also, we do the disaster relief supply. So in China, currently we have 10 the supply center. It distributed the whole China land. So each province, each prefectures, they can receive these relief supplies within 24 hours. That means a major disaster happened, every citizen will receive these supplies within 24 hours. And we also do the disaster relief supplies prioritized for areas that have achieved poverty alleviation. Okay. And here we can also see how do we do the emergency evacuation and the contingency plan for this poverty area for the poverty alleviation household ledger. And the last slide is I also want to emphasize that we're using AI-powered disaster prevention method. Here we can see these are the AI models. In China, feng means wind. So we developed several models: feng lei, feng shun, feng yu, feng qing. These AI models, it can do the prediction of the global meteorological disaster within 10 seconds. The space resolution is 1 kilometer. So that means every 1 kilometer is a grid. Each grid, we could do this prediction within 10 seconds to tell you what is the disaster, where is the disaster coming, what is the rainfall, the intensity of the rainfall, where is the wind speed, where is the storm surge, and so on. So this AI technology also helped a lot for the government and the public citizens to know the risks, to do the disaster reduction, and it also will improve the poverty alleviation. Okay, so that's just a general introduction. Thank you.
Amazing solutions, yes. Well, now let's have the floor to Edson Ricardo da Cunha from Petrobras, our leading enterprise in oil production.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Edson Cunha. I'm a geologist, and I have a master's degree in remote sensing. I have been working in Petrobras long, 22 years old, and now I will talk about the Petrobras program volunteer. I will talk in Portuguese, better for me. Everybody okay? Ok. Na Petrobras, a gente tem um programa corporativo de voluntariado. Esse programa,
Petrobras has a voluntary cooperation project.
Aproximadamente 8 anos, e o objetivo dele
This has been launched.
a nossa força de trabalho.
This was launched 8 years ago as primary
Petrobras e também empregados terceirizados. Engajar eles no nosso trabalho de responsabilidade social. A gente entende que o voluntariado não é a única forma, mas é uma das formas de passar conhecimento para a força de trabalho, os empregados da Petrobras, da importância de uma atuação responsável nos nossos empreendimentos, com relação a, por exemplo, a preocupação com o meio ambiente e a preocupação com a não violação de direitos humanos. O programa de voluntariado Petrobras, ele pode ser acessado pelos empregados através de uma plataforma específica, onde a pessoa, né, o empregado ou empregada se inscreve e ela vai poder ver todas as ações de voluntariado que estão abertas no Brasil. Nós temos unidades da Petrobras em quase todos os estados do Brasil, seja na área de exploração de petróleo, refino ou outras formas de energia. Temos também diversos prédios administrativos em diversas cidades do Brasil. A sede da Petrobras está no Rio de Janeiro. Então, como eu disse, os empregados podem acessar esse portal e verificar lá as ações. E que ações são essas? São ações nas áreas de meio ambiente, nas áreas de cidadania, direitos humanos, e também temos ações na área de educação. E é sobre isso, né, que eu quero detalhar mais aqui para vocês. Então, o objetivo é que os empregados possam contribuir e transferir o seu conhecimento, né, para outras pessoas. E quem são essas pessoas? Um dos públicos é os jovens aprendizes. Aqui no Brasil, a gente tem um programa chamado de Jovens Aprendizes, que é um programa cujas empresas, a partir de aproximadamente 1.000 empregados, elas precisam criar essa iniciativa de desenvolver o aprendizado profissional para jovens com idade entre 16 e 21 anos. A Petrobras possui atualmente mais de 70.000 empregados. Então, nosso programa Jovem Aprendiz, ele inscreve uma grande quantidade de jovens. E essas vagas são preferencialmente para jovens de áreas de comunidades, né, e considerando, inclusive, algumas questões de gênero, raça. Também, atualmente, temos algumas vagas destinadas a jovens que estão cumprindo medida protetiva da lei. Então, os jovens vão receber conhecimento de diversas áreas com que a Petrobras trabalha, conhecimento técnico, seja em mecânica, elétrica, uma variabilidade grande de áreas. E os empregados, eles vão orientar esses estudantes, seja presencial ou até mesmo online, porque durante a pandemia, entre 2020 e 2021, a gente já tinha o programa de voluntariado Petrobras e muitas ações aconteceram online, inclusive ações de mentoria. Então, o empregado ou a empregada, ela pode visualizar lá qual a área que estamos buscando mentores e se inscreve para ajudar esses jovens aprendizes. Além disso, a gente tem buscado também aumentar o número de mulheres na força de trabalho da Petrobras, incentivando que meninas e jovens se interessem pelas carreiras STEM, na área de ciências, tecnologia, meio ambiente e matemática. Temos nos aproximado de diversas iniciativas em algumas universidades do Brasil que trabalham justamente o incentivo a meninas na ciência. E organizamos visitas dessas meninas a unidades nossas da Petrobras. Um exemplo muito interessante é o que fazemos no SEMPES, que é o nosso centro de pesquisa, que está localizado na cidade universitária, aqui no Rio de Janeiro, num local onde está a Universidade Federal do Rio de Janeiro, cujo esse prédio também aqui faz parte da universidade. E lá, junto com a equipe de pesquisadoras do Museu Nacional, existe um programa chamado Meninas na Ciência. Então, junto com elas e as nossas geocientistas mulheres, porque é importante a gente mostrar para as meninas que lá é um espaço para meninas mulheres também. E como vamos fazer isso? Com voluntárias mulheres que trabalham na área de geociência. Então, as meninas são convidadas a passarem um dia visitando os laboratórios, mas não só visitando, tendo aulas práticas para verem como é a rotina de trabalho na área de pesquisa, né? Uma outra iniciativa que nós temos é com uma instituição chamada Junior Achievements. E ela tem uma das suas sedes aqui no Rio. E a gente trabalha o voluntariado de que forma? Primeiro, a partir da escolha de algumas escolas que estão preferencialmente nas áreas próximas às nossas unidades. Por exemplo, aqui no Rio de Janeiro temos uma refinaria em Duque de Caxias, é um município próximo ao Rio de Janeiro. Lá existem uma série de escolas públicas e a gente busca conectar esses estudantes com a ajuda dessa instituição que eu falei, Junior Achievement, à rotina de trabalho da Petrobras. E nesse ponto, novamente, entram os empregados da Petrobras como voluntários. Finalmente, como eu falei, durante a pandemia, nós tivemos que trabalhar online. Então, também podemos realizar mentorias online. Temos toda a estrutura para realizarmos mentorias online. E isso acho muito interessante, pois podemos conectar jovens, inclusive de outros países, né? Buscando conectar profissionais da Petrobras com esses jovens, né? Então, pessoal, queria agradecer muito o convite de vocês. Amanhã, à tarde, estarei aqui com vocês também para conhecer mais essa iniciativa e ver possibilidades de termos como parceiros. Obrigado.
I'm so glad to know more about this voluntariat program, which is really exceptional, very good. Now, I have the pleasure to give the floor to Feng Jian. From Tsinghua University.
Yeah, thank you. I'm super flattered and honored to have this opportunity to speak here and share some of our ideas and work from my research team, which is the research team at Tsinghua University Latin American Center, led by Professor Chen Taotao. Yeah. Actually, we are also one of the organizers of this challenge program. And one of the most important things about this challenge program is that from the very beginning, it is a research leading program, which means that we not only let all the students, the young people to compete with each other, we also do a lot of research during the whole process. And this mainly consists of two parts. One is that we developed this toolbox for poverty alleviation. We call it 5W1H toolbox. So it is used to break down the basic logic of poverty alleviation projects and for mutual learning. Yeah. And another thing is that we also did a lot of several case studies using this toolbox. And what I'm going to share today is one of the cases we did in the last 2 years. So let me just a little bit introduce the toolbox. So the toolbox is to help you break down the logic by simply asking the few questions. What? First is what. We use it to define the poverty. What kind of poverty we're talking about. And then we're going to describe the poverty from different dimensions. So we have who, we have when, we have where, and then we're going to analyze it. What is the reason for the poverty? So the root causes of poverty. And then we're going to think about how to solve the poverty. So how to, and one of the most important thing is that you're going to think about who is the important stakeholders in these projects and what roles does each actor plays. So that's the basic logic of our toolbox. So now let's get into this case study, which is the Mahajinha community in Brazil. This case was done actually by State Grid Brazil Holding, which is the subsidiary of the largest Chinese company, the State Grid. In 2015, when they are doing this environment impact assessment for one of its ultra voltage transmission line projects, they encountered this struggling and poor community called Mahajinha. And let's just see what the situation was like before they came. So this community is located in the remote Amazon rainforest region with a very hot climate and poor infrastructure, especially they don't have the clean water. And also the transportation was very inconvenient, so they are extremely isolated. And the people living there are mainly the descendants of enslaved people with low education levels, and their traditional livelihood is to handmade the juice, which is very inefficient and always have some hygiene issues. And so this community is historically neglected until 2015 when State Grid Brazil discovered them. So by restructuring this information, we can see why the poverty persists there. On the one hand, we have this systematic reason for the poverty, because this region is excluded from national development plans for decades, so there is a lack of policy attention and resource allocation to them. And then also we have this context-specific reasons for the poverty. That is, this place lack of clean water, and they made this juice purely by hand, which means that it's highly inefficient and there is unsanitary conditions. So that's the reason for the poverty. And then State Grid didn't just see the problem, they see the potential. Because this place actually is rich in the fruit resources, they just didn't use it well. So their plan is to build a juice factory for them. But State Grid is just the electricity company. It does not have the capacities to do it all by itself. So the strategy of them is to work closely with local partners. So that is the who part. So we can see one by one. So actually, as the leading actor, State Grid itself established a special department to fulfill these environmental obligations, because in Brazil you have this government policy framework that says that you have to do the environmental impact assessment whenever you do something like a transmission line projects. So in State Grid, they have set up this health, safety, and environmental division for it. So they have the professional teams for it, they have done some research about it, and then they also hire this local environmental consulting company. You see, in Brazil, there is a corresponding market demand emerged from the government policy framework. You have these local environmental consulting companies which is specializing in providing pre-construction the environmental impact assessment services for enterprises like State Grid. So in this case, State Grid also hired one of these local consulting companies to help them. And then they together make the plan for the community. They decided to build a juice factory. And then we come to the policy bank. So the BNDES also provides financial support for enterprises to undertake such environmental projects, so that state grade also actively used this financing support of policy banks when building this project. And then, just as I said before, it does not have the capabilities to do it all by themselves. So it has also do this market-oriented bidding for third-party contractors to carry out specific project constructions. So in Brazil's construction sectors, actually there are many qualified firms specialized in their respective fields. And now, actually, they are now closely monitoring the needs of large corporations just like state grade, and gradually transforming into reliable partners in social responsibility development. And then after this building, this construction, actually you have government institutions to supervise it. So that is a full circle of these projects. And the result is very good. The people have more income, and the water shortage was solved, and also they have the unhygiene issue was solved, so everyone's happy. So that's the story of state grade. That's one of our case studies that our research team, led by Professor Chen Taotao, we have did in the last 2 years. So thank you very much.
Excellent. We will have time to discuss everything, okay? So I think it's better to invite the other participants to this table, and then we continued here for the second round, that is going to be the discussion of all presentations. So please, Ronaldo Mota, from the Colégio Brasileiro de Altos Estudos, and Gabriel Goldmeier, please join us in the table. Shao Lei, you need... No, stay here because we'll have the discussion after that, okay? So we have 3 more presentations, and then we have the round table discussion, all speakers. But before we'll have a coffee break. But anyway, it's better to be here all together. It's warm, no? It's more warm. Okay. Shao Lei and Kai Lining, you should help me, because I really want to pronounce the names well, okay? Okay, Fan, please. You have to pronounce the Chinese names.
So Shao Lei, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Professor Shao Lei, you're the first. Yeah.
Yes, please. Oh, no, I'll start by Ronaldo Mota, I'm sorry. Start by Ronaldo Mota and Gabriel Goldmeier, yes. From the Brazilian School for Advanced Studies at Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. He's one of our professors at the program of chairs.
I'll go there. Well, good morning to all. I'd like to congratulate the organizers for this excellent initiative, and also thank you for the invitation to speak. I am Ronaldo Mota. Yes, I don't need this. Okay, I will pass to him. Currently, I hold the chair in Artificial Intelligence and Metacognition at the Brazilian School of Advanced Studies of this university, and I used to be a physicist. I'm not a physicist anymore because I retired from physics and start to make all my focus on education, basic education, bridge the gap with technology, more specifically with the use of artificial intelligence. And to connect with our main subject today, I would like to call your attention for one important aspect of Brazil. We are absolutely able to provide on education as well as on health, quality and scale. But unfortunately, we have not been able to provide both at the same time. It means we are able to provide quality, but only for few. And when we provide on great scale, unfortunately, we do that with poor quality. To solve that change, that's our challenge. How to provide quality and scale at the same time in many areas, but in particular, we are dedicating our work for education. Then our idea is how to use artificial intelligence in all aspects, using learning platforms to provide the scale for good quality content, how to understand how important should be metacognition, which means beyond cognition, in this era of digital vortex. How to work with that. Then, if you allow me, I will share my time with, it's a great honor to have with us Dr. Gabriel Goldmeyer. He is the associate researcher of this cathedral, and he will present us a few slides and with his content. Thank you for us.
Hello, everyone. I also say welcome for everyone on behalf of Brazilian School of Advanced Studies. This is our chair, as Ronaldo mentioned. Well, our idea here is to present something a bit more theoretical than what was presented before. That was very important because it was very practical examples of researchers. But I'm trying to reflect on this connection in between poverty and AI, okay? And the first question is, AI, good or bad? Obviously, through AI, we can cure lots, maybe most of diseases. This is an example, I don't know if everyone knows this, but Demis Hassabis, that is the developer of DeepMind from Google, won the Nobel Prize last November on chemistry. And he is not, he researches on AI, not on chemistry. On the other hand, obviously, we can think of AI through, in order to eliminate poverty or deal with problems, as some people mentioned before. But we can think about AI as the examples of Skynet or Matrix, like they can dominate, subjugate humanity, and so on. Maybe we have problems of inequality and lots of things that you mentioned. I will not mention the Pascal Weger, but is something interesting from the philosophical perspective. Our theoretical reference, in order to present something that can dialogue in different, with different countries, I guess Harari is well known even in China, that sometimes have different theoretical references. I saw lots of talks from him in China, then I use him as a reference for us. Harari, why Harari? Harari presents lots of dangers of AI. not just the good points. He is not as enthusiastic as lots of people are about AI. We have some problems related to AI. One of them is the problem of unemployment, that maybe we have we lose lots of jobs to AI, as the picture shows, lots of robots replacing us, and this is even algorithms doing things that normally we used to do. Also, another very important problem that Harari mentions is a problem related to inequalities between countries. Some countries, maybe because of the automation, will become useless to the economic process, the globalization that, for example, I don't know, let's say, I guess someone mentioned Bangladesh is an example of a nation. This word Harari uses is a quite strong word, useless people or useless nations, not in the sense of that they don't have value in themselves, but in the sense that for the economic process, they are useless. Yeah, and maybe countries will become useless in this economic process. This is a very problematic thing. Obviously, we have ways to solve this problem, or at least to deal with this. That is universal basic income, work with metacognition and care. This is something that we research, and world's cooperation. That idea is the idea that I will explore now. We in 90s, we had this hope of all the world will be interconnected, interlinked, but now we are living social bubbles, in cocoons, as Harari mentioned. Yeah, this is cocoons within the countries, but also different countries that are not dialoguing with each other. This is a very dangerous problem, very, very problematic situation, and we have to deal with this. Here we have one example of what Harari calls silicon curtain. Obviously, he's using a new metaphor for this division in between, for example, what China is doing in Liang Wenfeng. I saw, I said correctly, okay, and Sam Altman, the two leaders of this, I don't know if I can use the word dispute, but this is a problem. If it's a dispute, the direction that we are going is very problematic, okay? And Harari mentions trust between nations should come before we try to solve the problem of AI alignment. What is the problem of AI alignment? Is the problem that maybe in 5-10 years, AI will not control the development of AIs. And it's very important to work together, different nations like US and China, but we are not seeing this. And this is a problem that I would like to present. This is a summary of my presentation. Then I mentioned the problem of unemployment. AI will be superior and even will replace people's intuitions. Yeah, AIs are doing this. AI obliges us to work constantly in order to learn more and more how to work with AI, and this is very problematic. Subjugation of developing countries, yeah, that I mentioned before, and this final challenge, that is the race for AI development, maybe will create this problem of lack of cooperation. The last thing that I want to mention to you is a very famous paper, and is a web page that I really suggest for you to check. This guy, Daniel Cocotayo, is giving a lot of interviews for very important people. Someone could call him, could say that he's exaggerating about his forecasts, but he's a guy who worked on OpenAI. He is saying that without world cooperation, the situation can be very bad in 5, 10, 15 years, okay? Then the last sentence is, let's cooperate. And I guess we are doing this now. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Food for thought. Now, please, Professor Xiao Lei from Tsinghua University.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Really appreciate for the invitation of the organizers and sponsors. This is my first time to be here. Amazing climate, beautiful country. So thank you all. I'm from the School of Architecture, the colleague of Professor Liu Jian. But at the same time, I served as the dean of the Institute for Accessibility Development at Tsinghua University. It's a university-level cross-disciplinary platform engaging in inclusion studies. So I'm a kind of a volunteer. So please allow me to share today's topic with you about the welfare, the well-being of 15% population, global population. Say that's how to leverage the power of AI and the technology and engineering to break the vicious cycle of disability and poverty. So, okay. Let's look at some data. Because of a time limitation, so we will not go to details. In its World Report on Disability, WHO states that over 1 billion people live with some form of disability in the world, account for 15%. The vast majority of them live in developing countries where the poverty rates are significantly higher than average. So these are the numbers. And arriving in Brazil reminded me a promotional video in almost 10 years ago that is Paralympic. In the video, people borrowed a concept, superhuman, this one. Yes, I can use this concept to portray the incredible ability of persons with disabilities to overcome obstacles and also the demands of equality. But one of the most interesting things is 4 years later, in Paralympic in Tokyo, 2020, a TV channel launched a totally new, a brand new promotion campaign with the concept of ordinary people, say super period human. So this dialogue reinforces a very important topic, that is the disability is not merely a physiological issue. It's a social issue. It's a systemic issue. And also it's a development issue. So that's very, very important. According to the United Nations Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, they estimate in this region there may be about 85 million population with disabilities. In my home country, China, the number is same. We have the number of the people with disabilities exceeds 85 million. And this number does not even account for the functional impairment resulting from rapid aging. So as today, China's population aged 60 and over is approaching 300 million. So the unit is always million. So that's a really incredible number. So, but these numbers are not so distant number. They are deeply relevant with all of us because, behind these numbers are millions upon millions of individuals and families, and also they represent the substantial cost we must face in the future times. Okay. So the disability and the poverty are intertwined, as a kind of silent crisis. So they're creating a kind of vicious cycle. It's very difficult to escape. However, nowadays the technology revolution shows us a kind of unprecedented opportunity to overcome this. That's what I want to share you about some work in Tsinghua University. Okay, last year, the China proposed a resolution on promoting accessibility for full enjoyment of all human rights by all was adopted by consensus at the 57th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. So I took part in this kind of job. So that's very important. It's not just for disability, but for all of us, for aging, for children, for all kinds of vulnerable people, and for, everyone will be old. So that's a kind of all society. This is three cases from Tsinghua University I will show you. I don't know whether you can make this video to Miss Dong. Would you please to help me to cast this video? This is case one, the mind messenger. Is it okay? No. I have some short videos, but it seems, that's the digital problem. Look, yeah. So the first case is mind messenger. It's a brain-computer BCI for limb control. This semi-invasive BCI places a chip on, okay, so go back. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Give up. But, yeah, I know this will always happen. Yeah. A chip on the dura mater. The dura mater is the protective membrane outside the brain, covering the brain, so avoiding direct brain contact. So the AI will decode the brain signals to accurately control a robotic hand, and this guy has a robotic hand, and enabling this person with paralysis to perform tasks as grasp and toast and drinking. And the second case is reclaiming voice. For those who have lost their voice, for example, to laryngeal cancer or ALS. ALS is a progressive disease that destroys the nerve cells, voluntary muscles, eventually leading to paralysis. Our system uses flexible sensors. The sensors actually is here to read muscle signals. And then the AI will translate these signals back into the user's true voice. This is restoring their ability to communicate with dignity. And the third case is tangible graphics. For people with a vision impairment, they need a kind of a braille equipment for study or for reading. So this on an iPad-sized surface, 5,000 micro engines create tactile graphics and a braille. For these kids, from their childhood, they can easily use this equipment to feel and understand both text and images, significantly boosting their learning and communication efficiency. Okay, so let's go back. So that's a kind of universal accessibility. These technologies, whether brain-computer interface, speech reclaiming, or intelligent perception, all of them have applications that extend far beyond the realm of disability. In an era of rapid global aging, they can also serve hundreds of millions of elderly individuals, helping them to cope with declining mobility, communication, and cognitive abilities. So as core principles like universal design, inclusive design, and responsible AI continue to deepen and be integrated into the technology revolution, we ensure everyone, regardless of age, ability, or status, can beneficial equally. So I have some scenarios in this AI application for process of poverty reduction. The first is empowerment through education. Education is a fundamental pathway to breaking, I say, the circle, the vicious circle. So artificial intelligence and making quality educational resources and be more accessible forever. The second is empowerment through employment. I think there are some students that will choose this topic for their innovation, a challenge. Through AI-driven vocational training system, persons with a disability can acquire new skills for digital economy. And third is empowerment for independent living. I think the innovations such as robots, such as AI assistants, and intelligent navigation and environmental perception technology can dramatically enhance the self-sufficiency of persons with disabilities. And the fourth one is empowerment of social participation. Okay, so there are some suggestions. Maybe China, Latin America, we can cooperate together. The first is maybe we can jointly build a kind of a technology and a standard sharing platform. That is China, Latin America Tech for Disability platform to share all these algorithms, designs, and the data, accelerating the localized application of these technologies. And the second one is talent development programs. Maybe we could create a special future invoice scholarship to support young people from Latin America jointly cultivating interdisciplinary talent who possesses both technical skills and a deep sense of humanistic care. And the third one is demonstrative application projects. We can choose some countries for real and to do some communities in countries like to launch kind of collaborative pilot projects. And the last one is a long-term exchange mechanism. For example, in this beautiful big event today, we can regularly hold a kind of forum on innovation for disability and technology every year. And I think this will greatly improve our exchange. Okay, almost 10 years ago, at the foundation of the Institute for Accessibility Development in Tsinghua, we launched a declaration, Beijing Declaration on Universal Accessibility Development. So Tsinghua's university motto is action speak louder than words. So let's work together to ensure that the age of artificial intelligence, no one is left behind because of physical disability. Okay, thank you all.
I am moved by your presentation, and let's embrace all the suggestions for collaboration you mentioned. Thank you very much. Now, please, Professor Kai Lining from Tsinghua University as well.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for the invitation. It's my honor to be here to discuss, not present, just discuss opinion how AI, how could AI achieve the target to alleviating poverty. This is Professor Chen Tao leaves the question. I used to want to introduce AI with my research, but it's changed the topic to AI and poverty alleviation. So what's at the beginning, I think what's the answer? The answer is yes, but not the current time. I want to explain. So it's very interesting. So when I noticed the bulletin, I noticed there is a QUAI. In fact, this is also QUAI is a collaborative partner of this seminar, and it's also my research, my case study. This is about QUAI's case study. It has published in the Harvard Business Review about QUAI, how to develop. So I want to use compare QUAI and TikTok in their achievement in the poverty alleviation, and then answer the question how AI could alleviate poverty. First, what's the quiet story? It's in 2011. It was built in China. It almost is the first short video company in China, and also it's the first initial public offer company in Hong Kong stock exchange market. So in 2014 they built, and now they are almost the monthly active user is about half billion. I think in Brazil, when we talk about Quai, I think it's maybe most of you learn the company, but in international market, it's less than TikTok. This is some achievement of poverty alleviation in Quai. They got lots of awards, especially, for example, like the Quai Shou. Quai Shou is the Chinese name of Quai. The Quai Shou, hometown goods. It's in using the Quai Shou to for the homeland, especially for the villager, how to sell their products, their farmer products. Okay, we're closer. Okay. So for just in this year, the Quai, they got an award. It's from some financial organization for the award is announced for their how to sell homeland, especially for farmers how to sell their homeland like vegetables and some coins, like this kind of goods. Especially it's inclusive e-business. Like Professor Liu Jian said, inclusive communities. This is inclusive e-business. It's better than like TikTok. So this is some, and then we can. So I want to give a short comparison between TikTok and Quai. What's the difference? So for Quai, it was founded 2011, but for another TikTok, a big name, it's later than Quai. It's 2016. But for the revenue, we can see the revenue. For the revenue, Quai is less than it's a smaller one, and TikTok has a very high revenue. And for IPO, it's 2021, and for TikTok, still it's private. And for the market focus for Quai, it's like from the focus is low-tier cities and villagers, and for TikTok, it's for the high-end cities in China. Normally, for tier 1, like Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen, most of they use TikTok. In Chinese, it's Douyin. But in rural area, especially, and also some small cities, most people they use Quai. So this is a difference. And so for the content style, for Quai, they use like real life. And for there is no partition. But for TikTok, mostly they use like not a real life, but it's a better life, like some polishing and so some shining. So and for the user, normally the average for the age, the average age Quai is a little bit older than TikTok. The TikTok is mostly for the younger generation. And then this is the output. The output is even the Quai. It's the first IPO in and first company in short video, but the revenue is low, and the TikTok is higher. So when we think about the two companies, why the Quai they select begin from the low-tier cities? This is not like later, the TikTok, they just begin. They're not from the village. They're not from the big city. They just, I'm sorry. For TikTok, they just begin from like top tier cities. So the answer is if they begin from like big cities, it's very hard to success. This is at that time. What's why? Then we to give the before the answer, we just see what's why the AI. What kind of AI we'll discuss. So in fact, normally we use like 4 stages to talk about AI. I give the third phase and the fourth phase. When we talk about the AI, most of us, I think we just talk about the four stages, like the large-scale models. But what I think is that is the right one. The right one means like deep learning. It's useful to use deep learning to realize the poverty alleviation. And there is no answer to use large-scale models for the poverty alleviation because just before I came here, I joined industry meeting. The topic is how AI could change mineral industry. Almost everybody thinks it's no way because it's too early. It's too early for the business. But for deep learning, like what I did for just like a similar like Professor Shaolei, I do some AI using in the hospital to help to monitor the patients, their feeling. If there is some bad thing for the patients, how to get help just from the feeling and from the figure and from the some emotional. So that's use deep learning. It's not like the large scale models. This is so for just like Professor Shaolei, it's for the AI and employment. The result is from Goldman Sachs. The answer is that for the AI, I think they said the influence of AI is on the like blue collar. I'm sorry for the white collar because they cut the opportunity of white collar, but for the blue collar there is no any influence because any kind of large scale model they cannot solve the the healthcare and like the construction and like the logistics some work. So just give a review and my suggestion based on Quai's story and TikTok, the comparison and the AI. The first, from Quai's development, why they can emerge in 2011. I used to tell my students in 2011, if there is no Quai, there must be another company. It's called Man. In Chinese, Quai means fast, and Man means slow. If there is no Quai, there must be a Man, because it's not the company's thing. It's not because the government at that time, the government in 2011, in Chinese government, we push the 4G at that time. And for 4G, and there is a wider bandwidth, and also there is a very low rate to use. So that is the base. And then another is the information flow, and another is the logistics flow. For logistics, we have for the rural road, there is like in Chinese we call it 村村通工程. It's almost the connection between different villages. The government who pave the road to realize the connection. So this is an information connection, and also realize the logistics connection. Then there must be a company that can develop the business. Because in why Kwai begin from rural area, because for rural area, they have there is a lower rate to use, but there is almost no contents. In rural area, there is no cinema, there is no any other content because the younger generation, they live village. So in village, there is only like older person that stayed in the village. There is no relax. There is no contentment. So then this is an opportunity for Kwai. They can begin their business. And for current, for the fourth generation AI, what's the opportunity for the company? I think it's the computing power. Like in China, there is a province, it's called Guizhou. For Guizhou province is also underdeveloped province in China, but they use the cloud computing. Because for cloud computing, they need the power center. And power center, they need some lower utilities rate, and they need the lower land rate. And this is why Guizhou, the Guizhou province, they have a big change in this AI areas. So this is from the government. The government will be responsible for the connection. And then for the enterprise, like a Kwai, the Kwai's successful story is the find there is opportunity for the underdeveloped region. There is also requirement, and for the sharing their experience, sharing their like farming knowledge. They have they want to share their real life, not a better life. They want to share their real life, and there are lots of story. So being a fisher, they got some fish, and he share the fish. And if it just goes to the market, it's a very low price to sell it. But if they just share, and then lots of people, they can from big city, they can see the fish. Then they can ask him or her to sell, and with the logistics system to transfer to big city, they will have a better price, a better income. So that is for the enterprise, the opportunities. And the third one is for university. And for university, I think the role is to train the entrepreneurship. Just like our this seminar for young generation, how to make a startup. In fact, I want to. It's my honor to share the story because the founder graduated from Tsinghua University. He said why he will run the Kwai, the company, because he comes from a very poor family from the village, and even when he joined Tsinghua University, before joining Tsinghua University, he said his family, there is no electrical lamp, just use candle. So this is the reason why he want to have a business to help the poverty. So this is the university's task to train the entrepreneurship, and also in the AI terms, it's also university's role to develop algorithm, because AI's focus is algorithm. But this things changed. My major is about supply chain. It's about industry. But now I have another research area to the healthcare. This is why, because AI gave me tool to use AI in healthcare. So this is AI's story, and it's why AI could solve the poverty, but not currently. Currently, I think the useful tool is machine learning, not just like a large-scale model. So that's all. Thank you.
very interesting, the presentation. Should connect with our cathedra here in the School for Advanced Studies. But now, and also the suggestions, you are now in love with rural areas. So it's really important. I totally agree. I'm also. But now let's have 5-10 minutes for coffee break, and then we come back for the discussion, okay?
Hoje seria um seminário, sim, mas para os alunos hoje são expertos ou profissionais ou representantes de empresas que explicam mais ou menos seria a situação de como reduzir a pobreza, né?
Should we start? Vamos começar. Please, take your seats here. We have this final round. Before starting, I'm inviting all of you to have lunch with us in this building, okay? After our conversation here, after this session, we'll have lunch together. So I'm inviting all of you. Let's start. Tao, you should be here. Where is your, I don't know, prisma? Is this a prisma? I don't know. Please, all of you, take your seats here. This is the round table discussion.
So, will you teach me how to ask everybody to come and sit down?
Yes, please.
Okay, now how do you say it in Portuguese? Oi?
Oi.
Oi!
Venham para a mesa.
Venham
para a mesa.
Para a mesa.
Take your seats. Por favor, venham para a mesa. Vamos começar a segunda parte. Zé Orlando, por favor, uma cadeira aqui. Professors, please, you're invited also to join. Las Bambas, vocês não querem participar aqui do round table, por favor? Sim. We could start by José Orlando, please. Mário Rippe from IBRAC, Alexandre Baumgarter from FINEP, is the financiadora de projetos, the Brazilian government enterprise to finance innovation, And all of them you know already because they have spoken. So let's start with 2 or 3 questions from the audience. And then we can make our final statements to reinforce some points that we did deliver in your presentations, okay? So first, the floor is open to the audience if you have 2 or 3 questions, so we can address to all of them here. Yes, please. You are very shy, huh? Students, you are very shy. Okay. Yeah, please. Brave competitor.
Thank you. So actually my question regards urban integration. As you know, in China there's a lot of focus on 15-minute cities and having everything around at a walking distance from your home. So I was wondering if, from your observations here in Brazil, you've noticed if there is that trend, because in this area that we live in, I would say it is, everything is there, pharmacy, supermarket, but I was wondering what is the situation in rural areas, and do you think that this is something that the Brazilian government would be interested in exploring, or is it something that is still a bit underdeveloped, or if there's any cases that kind of showcase this? Because with Tsinghua, me and my classmates, we also went in Jinan, where they have a lot of examples of this and really famous neighborhoods where everything is 5 minutes or 10 minutes within distance. So I was really curious to know if what is the situation in Brazil overall.
Second question.
Morning, professors. I'm Louisa Jing from Tsinghua University School of Law. And our project is about legal AI, so today my question is also about the legal AI in Brazil. You know, once in Tsinghua, we have invited the Brazil's Supreme Court, the judge go to Tsinghua, and he said that in Brazil there exists some legal AI, and I want to learn it more. You know, how legal AI used in Brazil now, in courts, or in the, you know, for the public, something like that. Thank you.
Do you have a third question? Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Our project is about a photovoltaic microgrid applied to the Brazilian that could be also applied to Latin America, as there are similar concerns about energy poverty. However, I was researching about the China's context for photovoltaic panels in rural areas, and I saw that there had been a huge program of the installation of these photovoltaic panels, but they are going through a revitalization. So I would like to know a little bit more about the implementation of photovoltaic energy in the rural areas in China, please.
Okay, now the floor is yours if you want to answer this question, but also to make a statement, a final statement derived from your presentation. So this is the time. So we have this round table and then we go to lunch. Okay? Yeah, Mario. Mario Hippie from the Institute for Brazil and China Studies, IBRAC.
In the discussion here came the dilemma of volume and quality, okay? Which I think is a real dilemma, and it's true. It's around. I'm taking one example and see if anybody wants to. It's the communications today. Some years ago, to give access to communication in rural areas, it was very hard. It's still hard, but it's getting less. So I think perhaps in this issue, the volume question versus the quality is solvable.
Yes.
Which makes a big difference in lots of the challenges we have here. And I just want to think, is that true? Or still the communication, is this dilemma not true? What do you think?
Yeah. Alexandre from FINEP, Baumgarten.
Yes, well, we are from FINEP, which finances innovation here in Brazil, and we are working together with colleagues in China. Mostly we actually received 2 working groups of the BRICS here, and we are trying to support to make it easier for Brazilian companies and research institutions to work together, and actually that's what we hope to achieve, and really would like to know what the challenges are for working together with Brazilian companies and institutions.
Okay, I try to answer the 2 questions related a little bit to the rural areas. Actually in China, last time I already introduced, in China we had the dual urban-rural system, which separate urban area from rural areas. In some sense, that's not a good system, so that's why even from the central government, we are making great efforts to reform this system, to promote urban-rural integration. So that's a big background for you to understand. And then for the community issue, mostly the daily life in a village is organized by the village as a small collective in a close relation to the town government, which is superior, the villages. So that's for sure, at this moment, there's not quite equal access to public space in urban area than in rural area. But that's an orientation that we are working on. So with, with the process of urbanization, the rural area, you see the decrease of population. So in that case, it's not easy to really organize a public service of high quality. So normally, the public service is at the town level. And thanks to the advance of transportation and also the delivery services, so even villages who live in the villages, they can benefit from the public space at the town level. So it's hard for me to really explain in detail, but that's a little bit the principle regarding the public service in rural areas. So in the background of urban-rural integration, we are working more on promote an equal access to public space in both urban and rural areas. So regarding the solar energy issue, nowadays because the green energy is a big issue for China because of our carbon emission objectives. So actually it's strongly promoted by the policies. So especially in rural areas, particularly in the west and the north of China, where it is not so nice for people to live and they are decreasing their population. So a large area is rented by the energy company, mostly the state grid, and so that they can install their infrastructures of the solar panels, sometimes also the wind energy. By doing that, actually the villages, they can benefit because they can get the rent when these companies rent the land from the villagers. And secondly, many villagers, they could be employed by the company, for example, to clean the panels. And they still can use the land to cultivate something. So plus to that is also thanks to the poverty alleviation project of China, some companies are required by the government to set up a partnership with local villages. I know a small village very interesting because one company from the state grid rented their land. At the same time, they even set up a small shop to encourage local villagers to use green energy and also to promote a kind of green life. For example, to do the garbage classification, and then they give them a kind of a credit system. Villagers can use these credits to buy the stuffs of their daily life in the shop opened by that company. So it's like the vinegar, tissues, and all the things that you use for your daily life. So by doing that, they also support the life quality of villagers while they developing their green energies. So that's something probably can give you a little bit of information of what we are doing there. Thank you.
Oscar and Juan. No, Oscar? Yes, sure.
Thank you very much. I'm Oscar Gallero from Mineras Bambas, which is a mining company producing copper concentrates in the Apurímac region, south of Peru. It's a subsidiary of MMG, which is also a company of China Min Metals Corporation, which is a Chinese company. Related to the first question, I was thinking about the reality in our territory and the difficulties they face in having everything like walking distance. That approach, I think, cannot be applied in a territory so complex like ours in the Andes. Even the culture in the region is so different in these rural areas. So I don't think that a walking distance setting of a rural city could work, actually, because they are used to vast areas of territory, and the local communities appreciate that. So they use the territory as part of the culture. So in our country, we don't have that approach in the Andes, actually. But what we need is actually closing gaps. More than 3,000 meters above the sea level, the institutions are not present. So we lack public services over there. That promotes poverty. So we need to think about more integral approach, considering the territory and the customs of the communities. So this challenge is great to promote different ways to think about that and to promote closing gaps and poverty alleviation. So that's why we are proud and honored to be part of this project, and thank you very much for having us here.
I have to totally agree with the Oscar. Probably in the rural areas it's hard to deploy all of these things, but we can do a proxy of that. How can we connect all of this public service in one space to easily the access for the people? Maybe this is a solution. I just have to thank you again for the invitation. I truly excited to share this with my colleagues for the mining sector. I believe that our sector could be a vector for this process in Brazil and in Latin America and all around the world. And I also like to reinforce with our openness to, how can I say, probably in the next year to put a ground field visit for some of our projects. We'll be able to do that. We could discuss with the professors Orlando also how can we deploy that, because it's probably it's a possibility to our students to see in the reality and how can this works and the reality of the vulnerable people. Probably will be a prospect for better solutions. So we are open to that. We are very excited to be part of this project, and we probably in the next year will be again. And so that's it. Thank you.
I do not have any. Yes.
There is a question made by a student from Tsinghua University about legal assistance. I'm not expert, but I'm supported by AI tool in my iPhone, and 25% of Brazilian population doesn't have any free legal assistance. It's more than 52 million people, okay? And the judiciary distribution in the country, the district they call, comarca, only 50% of them in the Brazilian territory, they have this free legal assistance called Defensoria Pública. So this seems preliminary numbers I can give you, okay?
I think another information about rural area is the fact that we had a huge land reform in Brazil since the 60s. And then we built a strong reformed sector. And this reformed sector is producing food, and mainly organic food that is directed to the schools, to the food program in the schools. So this is interesting, could be a case study for the next competition. But it's really interesting because it acts in both sides, no? To produce food from the reformed sector, and then to help to feed, people in the schools,